Welcome to today's unboxing. Today we're going to be unboxing a Maton Phil Manning custom stereo guitar. To say I'm excited about doing this is an understatement. I'm the second owner of this guitar. I bought it off the first owner. Originally purchased this guitar in Perth, Western Australia when it was brand new. This particular guitar is serial number 211 out of 268 that were made. So let's open it up and have a look. Right, here we have it. It's in its original Maton case that it first came in. The shipper has packed it really well. Plenty of bubble wrap around the case, a really good shipping box as well. And he also didn't put any bubble wrap inside the case or on the guitar, so it's a really good tip if you're ever shipping a custom or a vintage guitar, to not use bubble wrap around the guitar inside the case because it can damage the finish. So even though this guitar was originally purchased in Western Australia, it found its way to Lismore in New South Wales for the last 20 or so years. Now it's been shipped back to me here in Melbourne, and the case looks to be in good nick. It seems to have survived the journey pretty well. Gives me a bit of confidence about opening it up. Let's have a look what's inside. Okay, here we go. So we've got a little case candy to start with here, which is fantastic. Let's see what we've got. Some service receipts for the guitar for previous work that's been done. These are probably the bits I wanted to see though. You've got the original information and care of your guitar. I've got some more of these for other Matons that I own. This looks really similar to what I already have. But we've got the original, what looks to be, the inspection card here for the guitar. It's a serial 211. Nice psychedelic design on there. Checked by 377. So Phil Manning stereo. A little bit more care information in there as well. The shipper did tell me that the original Maton plate had come off the case here, so there it is. He included that in the package. I like that. He also said he's lost the key, but whoever locks their guitar cases, I know I don't. That's lovely. He's tuned the guitar down for shipping to help it make it through, and he's signed it there. He says enjoy. I'm definitely going to enjoy it. And then, yeah, I've seen this write up online before as well. There's some really good information on the Maton Museum. If you go onto the Maton website, or if you just look up Maton Museum and search for the name of a model that you're interested in learning about, there's always some really good information on the Maton Museum about that. I would say the information isn't 100% accurate. So even for this guitar, there's an interesting quirk where on the Maton Museum, they list it as serial numbers running up to 250, but they also say 268 of these guitars were made. So it's quite unclear what the serial numbers of those additional guitars might be. So the Maton Museum has heaps of good information, but it's definitely not gospel. He's done a great job of packing this, really great job. So he's put beads all around it. He's detuned the guitar and tuned the strings down, and he's also put a protective cloth lining around the strings as well. Okay, here we have it. So, Phil Manning custom stereo guitar. So we've got a mahogany carved top here. And then you can see here, we've got hollow chambers on the guitar as well. Straight through there, and then there's a solid block that runs through the center of here for the stability and for tone. As I said, this is the mahogany version. This also came in a sassafras version as well, and you'll see the sassafras guitars online. They have a much paler wood on them, and I believe there might actually be a couple of rosewood ones kicking around as well. This particular guitar has the rosewood veneer on the headstock And it's also got these beautiful pearl block inlays with the chamfered edges here. So quite unusual to have the chamfered edges. Ordinarily, these block inlays, where you see them on most guitars, they'll have quite a sharp edge around them. So it's a nice little detail, and I really like the colour on these block inlays as well. Ebony fret fingerboard there, which is quite common with the high-end Maton electrics. It looks like a really beautiful finish of ebony fretboard there. And this is a Canadian white maple neck on this guitar. The neck, the way they work with these necks is quite interesting, where they treat and dry these necks quite a lot, and then they electronically treat them to give it the best chance of sounding great, to improve the tone, and to improve the playability. The other thing that they do for these necks is that they're coated 20 times to seal all that in, so to keep that dryness in there and to make them almost impervious to changes in atmospheric conditions. So when you get one of these guitars, it's going to stay the way it was. One of the things I really love about this is it's got the original Zenith Music sticker on the back here with a lovely little 6-digit number, which is the way it was back in the 1970s. And you can just see the 211 stamped into the back of the headstock there as well. Looks to have survived the journey really well, to be honest. So overall, this custom is in really, really great condition compared to a lot of the others that you see for sale online. One thing that it's got, which is quite common for this model of guitar, is on the truss rod cover here, it's got some lettering. Phil Manning Custom is what it says. And it's really common for this lettering to be worn off in some kind of way. I was speaking to another guitar collector and he said, look, they just use Letraset to get that lettering on there, which is quite an old-fashioned thing to do and not very durable at all. So it's not uncommon at all for those parts to be worn away a little bit. And if you look at the other Phil Manning Customs online that are for sale, you'll see that quite a bit. The other thing about this guitar that the seller did tell me about is there's just a tiny little bit of trim missing at the top here of the headstock. I think I'm going to get Maton to have a look at that and see if they'll fix it for me. I've been in touch with Maton before about other guitars of mine and they've been very, very accommodating. They're actually really great with this sort of thing. So I think I'll take it in for them to have a look at. And I'm sure they'd just enjoy seeing this guitar again. It's been a while since it was at their factory. It's also got its original Scheller machine heads, German-made machine heads, really common on Maton guitars. So it's all in original condition, all the original switches, all the original pickups. And that's probably a good segue for me to have a little bit of a chat about the electronics of this guitar, because as far as all the guitars that I own, this is definitely the most complex. It's got the most going on. And the reason for that is Phil Manning wanted to design a guitar that was extremely versatile and a guitar that he could use, particularly in the studio, to achieve a lot of different tones. So let's have a quick look at what we've got going on here. I mean, you look at it, it's just a 2-pickup guitar, but you're seeing a lot more switches and a lot more dials than you would ordinarily see. And you see on the side there as well, stereo output, so 2 output jacks for that guitar. So what we've got going on here with the stereo outputs, you can plug this simultaneously through 2 different amps, and then you can actually switch between those 2 different amps whenever you like, and then you can also have them both engaged at the same time. So you can, from your guitar, control and get lots of different sounds from different bits of hardware that you might have in your studio or that you're using on stage. So that's a really handy thing that this guitar does. Standard tone and volume setups here, and then an overall master volume here as well. What else we got here? So you've got your classic 3-way pickup selector there. Works like you'd expect on most guitars. You've got that 3-way selector, 1 pickup, both pickups, the other pickup. The other thing that this particular guitar has got, and I'm really looking forward to playing with this and seeing what it's capable of, is we've also got these little sliders here on top of the pickups. So what these sliders are, these are split coil, so you can change from humbucking to single coil by using these 2 little sliders here. and you can control it for each of these two pickups, which is going to be a lot of fun. I really look forward to seeing what this can do, because I feel like it's going to expand the horizons in terms of the amount of tones and sounds that I can get from the guitar without having to play with the amp. You can do all this from the actual instrument. The other thing it's got here is on this pickup here, there's another slider down here, and this is a phase switch. So you can actually, when both these pickups are in single coil mode, you can change it from in phase or out of phase. Again, that's extra tonality, and I know that guitarists like Peter Green used to set up his pickups so that they were out of phase. So I look forward to playing with that as well. And look, Phil Manning probably reminds me a little bit sound-wise of someone like Peter Green. So it's no big surprise that he wanted to achieve that. So on the Phil Manning side of things, what he was looking for with this guitar is having something in the studio that he could achieve all sorts of different tones. If he wanted a guitar that had a bit of a Gibson vibe to it, he could achieve that with this instrument. By the same token, if he wanted a Fender sort of sound, he could do that with this guitar right here. So he worked with the guys at Maton in producing this particular guitar, and from what I can see, he came up with an absolute beauty. I can't wait to play this. So I know what you're all thinking out there is that, hey, let's plug it in, let's have a listen to what this sounds like. It's been tuned down for transit, so it's not quite ready to play, and I'd really love to learn more about this guitar before I play it in front of the camera. I'm nervous enough playing in front of the camera as it is, so I really need to learn more about this. So I'm going to go have a play with this guitar and see what I can do with it. But before I go, I'd like to say thank you to the original owner of this guitar for looking after this so well for nearly 50 years. He's done an incredible job for it to get to me in 2021, for it to look like this. So a massive thank you to both to him and anyone who's out there looking after their Maton guitars. I'd also like to thank you guys for watching this video. And I really hope you enjoyed learning about Phil Manning Custom. And hopefully I've got more unboxing videos to come as I collect more of these guitars. So keep your eye out for more of these videos.